Kentucky has yet to break huddle and move out. We're starting about 3 minutes late with still a few empty seats, especially in the end zone, but people still arriving. The warning horn, play ready to go. Back with you at 7:45 Tuesday night, Kentucky, North Carolina at Greensboro. And we'll have Frank McGuire, the North Carolina coach, with us at halftime. His club, right at the moment, rated the number 5 team in the nation. Notre Dame has Tully at 6'7", out against Jennings to jump as we're ready to go. Kentucky has 2 inches height advantage. Here's the toss, the tip, the ball game underway. In backcourt, Alan Feldhouse of Kentucky picks it up, steps over the center stripe, and flips to Percival. Down the left side to Roger Newman, fires into Lickard, out to Percival. Sets it up, fakes to the left corner to Feldhouse, then breaks off the right on Schnurr, who's picked off by Jennings, who gets the ball with a foul call. It is on Schnurr of Notre Dame. Schnurr was trapped on a screen set by Jennings. And as Percival whipped off the screen, down inside the 3-second zone, Schnurr hit Jennings, who's on the line for 1 shot. No score, Freedom Hall, Louisville, 22 seconds gone. The shot, good. Kentucky 1, Notre Dame nothing, as the Irish get the ball for the first time with Schnurr. Up over the center stripe, picked up by Percival. Feldhouse is down on the left side against Armin Rio. It goes, and the drive wide open to lay it in, John Deary. Deary, who turned in a great game as a sophomore in Lexington last year, sends the Irish ahead 2-1. Percival crisscrossing and keeping, giving to Lickard on the right side in offensive court. Out to Feldhouse, left side open. Feldhouse drives, turns off to the left side. Double dribbles, and it's Notre Dame's ball. Schnurr to Crosby, and a return to the St. X Jr. at Notre Dame, Eddie Schnurr. Looks down the right side, feeds Crosby into the pivot. Wide open on Jennings, but missing the shot is Armin Rio. Rebound taken by Roger Newman of Kentucky, the Wildcats' top rebounder. Crosby comes down to pester Percival as Newman pulled up on the dribble in backcourt. Larry Percival crossing the 10-second line. Outside, keeping on the bounce pass, gives to Lickard now, takes a return pass. Notre Dame leads 2-1 here at Louisville. Down in the right corner to Roger Newman, guarded by Crosby. Moves up the far side, passes to Lickard, wide to the right. Lickard moves down against Rio, then gives to Jennings, goes under the basket, drops it, steps out of bounds, Notre Dame's ball. That is twice in a row now Kentucky has given the ball to Notre Dame on infractions. First double dribble, now walking. Schnurr whips into the pivot. Here it is. Deary turning for a 10-footer that misses everything. The rebound by Percival on the bounce. Percival in front court to Lickard. Gets away from Crosby from 10 feet, hits. As Bill Lickard gets the first field goal for Kentucky. The Wildcats are in front 3-2 after 1 minute 50 seconds. Eddie Schnurr of Notre Dame breaks to the right on Percival, flips it off to Crosby, who's turned and driven to the outside by Lickard. Hooks back to Schnurr, back to the outside to Crosby, to Schnurr on the right side. He looks in at Armin Rio. Feeds on the baseline to Tully, breaks for the basket, steps on the line, and it's Kentucky's ball. Out of bounds, Percival. Bounce pass to Newman. Flips it right back to Percival, who gives it back to Newman. Newman in front court. Fires right side to Lickard. Back to Percival as Feldhouse moves to the right corner. Percival fakes to him. Fires to Lickard on the top of the slot. Lickard drives down the middle and is fouled. It is Notre Dame's John Deary, his first foul. Lickard drove completely by Armin Rio, and Deary, coming out of the defensive forward position, tried to pick him up and drew Notre Dame's second foul, his first. Lickard, with Kentucky ahead 3-2, on the line for 1 shot. It's good. Kentucky 4. Checkers, Kentucky 4-2 on Notre Dame. Although the board now getting caught up at 4-2. Schnurr in front court, hands it to Percival. He had already committed himself to a pass to Crosby. And here's a pass knocked out of bounds. As Newman tried to recover, though, it is Notre Dame's ball under the Kentucky basket. It was passed to Newman, batted down by Rio, and Newman tried to recover and lost it out of bounds. Eddie Schnurr of Notre Dame over the 10-second line, trailing 2 points. Gives down the left side to Rio, knocked away by Jennings, out of bounds. They tried one down the middle to Deary. Here it is, into play. Schnurr gives. On the free throw line is Deary against Newman, drives for the basket, a collision, walking against 6'6" John Deary of Notre Dame. Ball goes to Kentucky. Larry Percival moving up with a 4-2 Kentucky lead. Whips to Jennings on the pivot, breaks with a 10-foot hook, way short. Notre Dame's rebound, John Deary. Hands to Schnurr. Schnurr in front court for the Irish. Fakes, breaks off to the left, gives. Here's a quick jump shot by Rio, no good. Knocked down and out of bounds by Roger Newman of Kentucky. Notre Dame's ball over the baseline to the left of the basket. Crosby will be putting it in play. The 6'4" captain fires her in. John Tully breaks on Jennings. The shot is high and short with a foul. It is on Kentucky. Alan Feldhaus draws his first foul of the game, and that's number 1 on the Wildcats. 3 minutes, 44 seconds have been played as Notre Dame's Armand Rio goes to the line. He has 1 try, Notre Dame's first free throw of the game. Cats with 16-16 to go. Ahead 4-3 as Armand Rio gets the free throw. Roger Newman in front court for Kentucky. Lets Jennings get on the pivot and feeds Lickert to the right. Outside to Newman. Lob pass goes high to Jennings. Back to Newman, not expecting it out of bounds. Ned Jennings made a perfect pass to Newman, who wasn't even looking for it. And untouched from Jennings, out of bounds, Notre Dame. Schnurr in front court for the Irish. Looks to the left, breaks to the right on Percival, who holds his man deep. A feed to Deary, who breaks on Newman and shoots short, rebounding beautifully, wide open to lay it in, John Tully. And Notre Dame leads 5-4. Roger Newman, a bounce pass into Percival, takes a return pass. Newman over the center stripe, whips a high one to Jennings on the free throw line. Collision in the middle with a foul. It's Newman of Kentucky pushing. Roger Newman draws his first foul. That's number 2 on the Wildcats. The pivot was jammed defensively by Notre Dame. Newman fed to Jennings and tried to break hard off of him and force the pivot, and in so doing charged into Notre Dame's Bill Crosby. Crosby scoreless, shoots 1. 15 minutes, 32 seconds in the first half here at Louisville. Notre Dame leads 5-4 after 3 straight points to bring them from behind. The shot no good by Crosby, tapped in by John Tully. 2 straight field goals by Tully now gives Notre Dame the edge, 7-4. Larry Percival of Kentucky down the right to Lickert, takes a return. Here's a foul as Lickert is hit by Crosby, drawing his first foul and Notre Dame's third. The shooter is Lickert. Kentucky has 1 field goal after 4 minutes, 41 seconds. That by Lickert. Cats down by 3 as Lickert's 1 shot is no good. Notre Dame takes the rebound as it's pulled in by John Deary. Over to Schnurr in front court for the Irish. Schnurr breaks right, gives to Crosby, flips it off the head of Lickert over on the side, and a jump shot no good by Rio. Picked up by Tully and missed. Jennings fouled by Deary as Jennings took the rebound and Deary slapped for the ball. Personal foul number 2 on Deary and number 4 on Notre Dame. We have played 4 minutes, 56 seconds here at Freedom Hall in Louisville, and Jennings, 1 for 1, is on the Kentucky free throw line. Each team has missed only 1 free throw. Notre Dame's ahead, 7-4. Here's Jennings' free throw, good. Only Jennings and Lickert have scored. Notre Dame 7, Kentucky 5. Crosby to Eddie Schnurr, who brings the Fighting Irish back into front court. Looks to the left, looks to the middle, and gives off the left to Rio. Down the right side to Crosby, back to Schnurr, gets open from 15 feet, misses with a one-hander, tapped up and in beautifully by John Tully. Tully's third field goal puts Notre Dame in front, 9-5. Percival of Kentucky back to front court. Down the left to Feldhaus. Hands back to Percival. Newman goes through. Out deep to Lickert. Swings right. Jennings knocked to the floor by Armand Rio. And Jennings picked off. That's the first foul on Jennings and number 3 on Kentucky. 14 minutes, 36 seconds here in the first half at Louisville. It looks like Armand Rio will be the shooter. That is right. 1 shot on a backcourt foul. 7 fouls in this ball game, which is 5:24 old. 6'6" Armand Rio lifts up 1 shot good. Notre Dame has the score doubled at 10-5. Roger Newman of Kentucky in front court. Down the right to Bill Lickert. Wide. Looks and drives on Rio. Jump shot good by Lickert. Jennings knocked to the floor and the play under the basket as Lickert picks up his 5th point. Notre Dame 10, Kentucky 7. Schnurr of the Irish in front court. Down the right side to Crosby. Weaves and drives to the middle on Lickert with a foul. Notre Dame pushing by John Tully, his first foul of the game. That is 5 personals on the Irish, an offensive foul that brings us the length of the court. The shooter, Ned Jennings, 2 for 2. 14 minutes and 9 seconds in the first half. Notre Dame assistant coach Jim Gibbons yelling at Max Macon under the Notre Dame basket. Yelling at Stinks up the way. Here's Jennings' free throw, short, no good. Tapped by Feldhaus, rolled out, rebound under there by Lickert, who flips out to Newman. A jump shot, no good. Rebounding Jennings with a shot blocked, but a foul. Check us a jump is called as Armin Rio of Notre Dame blocked the shot. Jennings at 6'9" will have 3 inches height advantage. Nobody can get to it, but they let him play it as Schnurr of Notre Dame comes up. With possession for the Irish. Nobody tapped the ball. It finally fell to the floor. Schnurr down the left to Rio, takes a quick return to Crosby on the free throw line. Beautiful to Schnurr, wide open driving on Percival to lay in his first point of the game. 12-7 Notre Dame. Percival in front court. Feeds Jennings in the pivot. Breaks and a looping hook way off the mark, no good. Lickert with a rebound. Hook shot way short, no good. On the rebound, Kentucky's Roger Newman, no good. Notre Dame's John Deary takes the rebound. Outside to Schnurr. 13-20 here in the first half. Schnurr breaks to the left. Down the side, jump shot no good as he finally had to make a pass out of it to Deary, who missed everything with a shot. Tapped in, let's see, it looked like Armin Rio. Rio gets his first field goal, and Notre Dame leads 14-7. Second time in the game the Irish have doubled the score on Kentucky. In the pivot to Jennings, to Roger Newman breaking by with a foul call. Notre Dame's Bill Crosby, his second foul, and Crosby complaining to the officials. That's 6 fouls on Notre Dame. Jim Gibbons, the Notre Dame assistant, still bitterly arguing with the officials. The shooter is Roger Newman, Kentucky's top man, but scoreless in this game as the Cats have only Jennings and Lickert in the scoring column. 12:58 to go. The shot's no good as Kentucky now has missed half of its free throws. Trailing 14-7, and Notre Dame's Bill Crosby moving in front court with a rebound. Hands off in the pivot to Deary. High outside to Schnurr, wide to the right. Deep to Crosby. Waves to the left side to clear down the middle to Tully. Feeds Schnurr. Percival knocks it down out of bounds. Notre Dame under their own basket to the left. 12 and a half minutes to go. We're in the first half here at Freedom Hall, Louisville. Notre Dame leading Kentucky 14-7. Out of bounds play coming up. The pass in. Jennings tried to get it, but couldn't. Here's Tully. Shot. No good. Jennings taps, or rather Feldhaus taps to the outside, away from Crosby, off his foot and out of bounds, Kentucky. They have 2 balls in the game right now. Percival throws one of them away. Gives to Roger Newman, and we're back to play. Newman throws to Jennings on the pivot. To Percival, a 30-foot set. No good. Lickert with the rebound for Kentucky. Takes a hook. No good. Jennings tap. No good. Notre Dame's got it as Crosby does a bit of showboating. Now moves on into front court with the ball. Into the pivot she goes. A break for the basket and a hook by Tully. He walked 2 steps, and it's Kentucky's ball. We have played 8 minutes. Notre Dame leading 14-7, a game yet that has seemingly not been able to get started. Here's Newman driving. Crosby takes it away from him as he hooked it off his shoulder to Notre Dame's Armin Rio. Over to Schnurr. And the Irish back to the offensive. John Deary gets it wide open. Schnurr slaps it. Tully lays it in. John Tully's the big gun for Notre Dame with 4 field goals. The Irish lead 16-7, and the first time out of the game is taken by Kentucky with the clock showing 11:24 in the half. Besides being there to furnish you with top quality gasoline and motor products, your Standard Oil dealer tends to the hundreds of small details that keep a car in top form. He checks your battery, crankcase, tires, and windshield as a matter of course. And when you're traveling, he provides you with road maps and reliable information about the road ahead. Keeps clean restroom facilities for your convenience. Standard Oil dealers go all out to render extra services. Well, Kentucky broke on top tonight with a free throw by Jennings. However, a field goal by Deary put the Irish ahead. A field goal by Lickert returned the lead to the Cats, and a free throw made it 4-2 by Lickert. Then a free throw by Rio and a field goal by Tully, his first of 4, put the Irish ahead 5-4, and Kentucky has yet to catch up. Right now, they're behind 16-7, and Kentucky has only 2 field goals by Bill Lickert to show for 8 minutes, 36 seconds of work. Kentucky has not scored a point of any kind in over 3 minutes. It's Kentucky's ball under the Notre Dame basket. Wildcats' next action is Tuesday night in Greensboro against North Carolina, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time over these same Standard Oil stations. Back to action here at Louisville as Larry Percival of Kentucky in front court gives Jennings a pass on the pivot to Percival from 15 feet. No good. Knocked out of bounds by Notre Dame. It goes to Kentucky. Percival out of bounds, passes deep to Roger Newman. Newman hands to Lickert, moving to the right. Down the side, 15-footer. Good. Lickert keeps the Cats in with his 7th point. It's 16-9 Notre Dame after 9 minutes of play. Eddie Schnurr in front court for the Irish. Looks to the left and feeds Rio, who throws it right to Jennings of Kentucky, playing out in front of John Tully. Over to Percival, moving in front court. Swinging to the right. Percival drives from 10 feet, misses. Feldhaus taps. Jennings taps it, no good, as Deary hands it back into teammate John Tully. Up to Crosby, and Notre Dame leading 16-9, takes possession with 10:25 in the first half. Schnurr against Percival, drives to the right, turns, bounce pass, Tully, dropped it out of bounds. Larry Percival of Kentucky into Roger Newman, who flips it back. Only Lickert and Jennings have scored. In the pivot to Jennings, he lays it back to Newman. Wide open, he has his shot blocked beautifully, but he is picking it up as Deary blocked it. In the pivot to Lickert, outside to Newman, 20-footer from the left. Good. Roger Newman is the third Wildcat to score. And a Lickert field goal, backed up by 1 from Roger Newman, makes it 16-11. 9 minutes and 48 seconds here in the first half at Louisville. The Irish have a 5-point lead. Notre Dame to the attack now as a drive by the basket by Tully, and teammate John Deary is charging. Offensive pushing as Deary tried to move off a set screen. The bonus is in effect now as Deary is the first for either team to draw personal foul number 3. Neither team has made a substitution as Jennings, 2 for 3, goes to the line shooting 1+. Cats down by 5. Jennings ready to go. Looks in and sights. The free throw, good. Jennings will take the first bonus shot of the game. 9 minutes and 43 seconds in the first half. Jennings, right foot up on the line. 2 deep breaths this time, and here's the shot. No good. Tapped off and taken by Lickert under the basket. He takes a jump shot and then flips it back outside to Newman, who shoots. No good. With a foul on the rebound against Kentucky. Jennings drawing the foul, his second. You have to be careful in trying to broadcast here because people continually walk in front of you, photographers. Personal foul number 4 on Kentucky. 1 shot to Notre Dame's John Tully, who's on the free throw line for the first time. The Irish have picked up only 2 points at the line as Kentucky has picked up 4 free throw shooting, but the Cats have missed 4. Free throw good by 6'7" John Tully. Notre Dame leading 17-12. Roger Newman in front court down the left to Feldhaus, takes a quick return. Percival breaks down the middle, pass outside to Lickert. Back to Newman on the left. He breaks out, hooks a high one to Jennings on the free throw line. Jennings breaks to the right with a jump shot. Good. Jennings' first field goal, and it's Notre Dame 17, Kentucky 14, as the Cats battle back. Crosby of Notre Dame in front court against Lickert, drives to the right. Hooks under the basket, and a shot by Rio is good. Armin Rio's 6th point, and Notre Dame leads 19-14 with 9 minutes in the first half. Percival of Kentucky in front court. Down the left side on the bounce to Feldhaus. Into the pivot to Jennings, breaks for the basket, and misses. Gets the rebound, and misses again. Drops it out of bounds to Notre Dame. Jennings had 2 almost open shots. And Schnurr and Crosby hold up in backcourt to get a few signs from Notre Dame coach John Jordan. Schnurr in front court feeds to Rio on the left side, out to Deary at the free throw line, who turns and hits. Deary's second field goal sends Notre Dame on top, 21-14, 8:21 in the first half. 2 quick field goals by Notre Dame just when Kentucky was catching up. Here's Percival in front court to Newman. 30 feet straight away, over to Percival to Jennings in the pivot. Here's the hook. Good. 7 points by Jennings, and it cuts the Notre Dame lead to 5, 21-16, with 8 minutes in the first half. Schnurr of Notre Dame in front court. Looks down the middle, feeds Crosby on the right. Lickert backs away. Crosby drives. Lickert picks him up. The shot, no good. On the rebound, it's picked up by Lickert. The Cats run 3-3. Lickert in front court carries it wide to the right. Fields Newman down the middle, who has it blocked out of bounds. But Newman, on a stumbling save, gets it off the knee of John Tully. Kentucky keeps possession to the right of the basket over the baseline. Percival will put it in play. Calls the signals, gives to Lickert stumbling, who takes it on the move. Lickert wide to the right. Breaks on Rio. After a one-bounce dribble, gives outside to Percival. Percival down the middle to Jennings. Here's the looping hook. No good. Deary rebounds for Notre Dame. Armin Rio seems to be easily had from the outside, but Kentucky has been unable to get the middle open for anybody to drive against him. Schnurr on Percival. Drives left, gives. Jump shot Rio. Short. Grazes off the basket. Picked up by Deary. Jump ball as it's blocked. 7 minutes, 3 seconds in the first half. Freedom Hall, Louisville, the scene of tonight's action. For Notre Dame, Deary, 6'6". Jumps against Feldhaus. Vince Del Negro coming in for the Cats. No, it's Jennings at 6'9". And they have enough trouble getting things squared away that Del Negro is being held up, though, as he's replacing Jennings. The tap goes to Percival. Percival moves up quickly for the Cats in front court. Feeds Feldhaus, who dropped it out of bounds. Goes up into the crowd, and it is opposite Notre Dame, as just at the last moment touched by Armin Rio. Percival in the offensive right corner. Puts it in play to Lickert. Jump shot. Good. Bill Lickert with point number 9. Cuts the Notre Dame lead to 3. 21-18. Eddie Schnurr in front court for the Irish. Looks into that double pivot and feeds Deary from 15 feet. He shoots and misses. On the rebound, Tully lays it up no good. Rebounds, Jennings knocks it down. Tully picks it up and is fouled by Jennings as he tries to take a shot. For Jennings, that is his 3rd foul. And Jennings is out of the ball game as Kentucky has been tagged with its 5th personal, and Crosby goes onto the Kentucky basket. Vince Del Negro is the first substitute of the game, a 24-year-old junior from Springfield, Massachusetts. He's 6'5", 190. For Notre Dame, John Tully takes the first 2-shot trip of the ball game. He's Notre Dame's big man with 9. First shot good. 2-hand shooter as he flexes and flips from between the knees. Del Negro in the game has 11 points, an average of 5.5. All points were against VMI, though. He's Kentucky's 5th scorer. The shot, no good. Tapped up, no good by Rio. Del Negro rebounds, almost loses it. Gets it over to Newman with Notre Dame leading 22-18. Newman in front court, the Feldhaus left side, open shot, no good. Lickert got it. Bill Lickert's 11th point sends Kentucky to within 2 points, 22-20 with 6:10 in the half. Schnurr of Notre Dame fades to the pivot to Tully against Del Negro. A hook, good. John Tully quickly registers his 12th point to take the game scoring lead, and Notre Dame on top, 24-20 with 6 minutes to go. Percival in front court, almost threw it over the head of Del Negro, and he is fouled on the play by Tully of Notre Dame. Tully's 2nd foul. Bonus in as Del Negro goes 1+. Deary has committed 3. Tully, Crosby 2 for Notre Dame. Schnurr 1. Del Negro free throw shooting, and he missed it. Feldhaus taps it right straight up in the air. Notre Dame's Bill Crosby takes it. So the Cats have twice now missed on important free throws as their free throw shooting stays below 50% for the 2nd game in a row. Schnurr of Notre Dame with a 4-point lead. Breaks on Percival, but fades quickly away. Hands off to Crosby. Down into Deary, who goes to the baseline on Newman and shoots no good with Del Negro rebounding for Kentucky. Hooks it out to Feldhaus, who let it go out of bounds. Feldhaus running down the floor without even looking at the ball. And Notre Dame takes over at midcourt. Eddie Schnurr against Percival. Breaks and goes all the way. Shot blocked, taken in beautifully by Deary, who drops it through. Deary's 3rd field goal, and Notre Dame leads 26-20. 5:05 in the first half with Newman in front court. Feeds to Del Negro. Breaks to the basket, and he is tripped by Tully of Notre Dame. Tully draws his 3rd foul as Tully and Deary both play now with 3. Timeout Notre Dame. The first timeout of the game for the Fighting Irish. Here's the scoring so far. The big guy is 6'7", John Tully of Notre Dame with 12 points. Next, John Deary with 6 and Armand Rio with 6. Their captain, Bill Crosby, is scoreless, and Eddie Schnurr has 1 field goal. For Kentucky, the top man, Bill Lickert, with 11 points, 5 of Kentucky's 8 field goals. Ned Jennings has 7 points, 2 by Roger Newman. Alan Feldhaus and Larry Percival and Vince Del Negro have all been shut out. For Notre Dame, John Matthews, a 19-year-old sophomore from Albany, New York, reports he's 6 feet 170. Matthews has 2 points this season, averaging 1 a game, is number 8 in scoring. Ned Jennings reports back for Kentucky. Feldhaus is the man that's coming out for Kentucky. Notre Dame 26, Kentucky 20. And the warning horn sounds for Kentucky free throws. Notre Dame, which called the timeout, not responding. Neither is Kentucky to the warning horn that play is to be resumed. The referee's whistle still gets no response from either team. Now the other official blows. Notre Dame moves out. Kentucky shows no signs of wanting to play. Still in the huddle. Well, Notre Dame goes now with their first substitute of the game, John Matthews, with Eddie Schnurr. Now the scores table is trying to get Kentucky to play ball. Still nothing from that Kentucky bench. They still are huddled up. Now the referee, Max Macon, is going down to bring them back to play. Notre Dame has Crosby and John Deary, and they've taken out their high scorer, John Tully. Vince Del Negro on the free throw line for Kentucky. He's shooting 1+. The free throw good, and Del Negro gets the bonus. Kentucky has Del Negro, Lickert, Jennings in the ball game, with Lickert and Percival outside. Del Negro gets the bonus try. The score with 5 minutes in the first half, 26-22 Notre Dame. In front court, Matthews, the 6-foot sophomore, fires into the pivot now. Here's a break for the basket against Vince Del Negro, and walking is called by against Notre Dame's John Deary, carrying the ball, palming it. Percival feeds to Newman, takes a return pass, moving in front court. Looks to Nickert to the right side, gives to Newman from 15 feet. Newman hits. Roger Newman's 4th point cuts the Notre Dame lead to 2 at 26-24 with 4.5 minutes to play in the first half. In front court, Matthews from 20 feet misses for Notre Dame. Jennings with a rebound for Kentucky. Fires up to Percival. In front court to Newman. Back to Percival. Breaks to the left side. Screen, and no good as it's blocked out of bounds by Schnurr. Schnurr thought that he had hit Percival across the arms because he quickly pulled him back. Percival over the baseline to the right of the basket. Looks in. Finds Del Negro there, but as he gets a pass to him, it's slapped right back out of bounds by Rio. So Percival will try again. Percival out of bounds. Lobs in the right corner to Jennings. Fires in the pivot to Del Negro. A looping hook too high on the boards. Lickert fouled as he takes the rebound. John Deary of Notre Dame draws personal foul number 4. That brings John Jordan off the bench for more help. As Tully out of the game with 3, now will catch Deary on the bench with 4. And for Notre Dame, here is Carl Ressler, R-O-E-S-L-E-R, from Fort Wayne, Indiana, a 19-year-old junior. Ressler is 6'7" and 230. Has 9 points to rank 6th in Notre Dame scoring, averaging 4.5 a game. Lickert on the Kentucky free throw line, 1 for 2. Shoots. Good. And with a bonus try, Lickert can tie the game with 3:45 in the first half. Lickert sights the shot. Good. So the crowd roars its approval as Kentucky has finally caught up. 26 all. Matthews of Notre Dame against Newman in front court. Feeds Crosby on the left. Outside, a jumper by Ressler is good. And Wrestler just in the ball game sends Notre Dame back on top at 28-26, 3.5 minutes in the first half. Newman fades Jennings, breaks left on Wrestler and hooks it up and no good. Beautiful tap, rolls off, no good by Del Negro, and it's taken in by Notre Dame's Armin Rio. Over to John Matthews. In front court for Notre Dame. Picked up by Roger Newman, spins back to the left side, hands to Crosby, walks with the ball, and a foul call. Notre Dame will be free throw shooting at the expense of Percival. Larry Percival draws Kentucky's sixth foul, his first. No bonus for Notre Dame's captain Bill Crosby, who's been shut out. 3:10 in the first half. Notre Dame leads by 2. Crosby misses. The rebound by Percival as Kentucky takes possession, down by 2. Roger Newman in front court, breaks to the right on Matthews and gets a double team, fires it back to Lickard, who goes under, hooks it back to Del Negro. He breaks for the basket all the way, lays it in. Beautiful move by Vince Del Negro, and Kentucky for the second time catches up at 28 all. 2:48 in the first half. Matthews of Notre Dame on the right to Schnurr. In the pivot to Rio, 15-footer is up and no good. Rebounding Lickard and Del Negro with a foul call. It is on Jennings of Kentucky. So that is 4 fouls on Kentucky's Ned Jennings. Jennings waving in disbelief that he's committed 4 fouls. Adolph Rupp off the bench to make sure he understands the signals. That's right, 4 fouls on Ned Jennings. It's 1+ for the first time. Carl Wrestler on the line for Notre Dame. Alan Feldhaus quickly being sent to the Kentucky lineup, and they hold up the game to let Feldhaus replace Jennings. So each team has a man on the bench with 4 personals. John Deary of Notre Dame, Ned Jennings of Kentucky. Jennings is 1 point the higher scorer. Wrestler shoots, good for Notre Dame. The 6'7" substitute registers his 3rd straight point and takes a bonus shot as Notre Dame leads 29-28. Bonus try, good, and the Irish are ahead 30-28 with 2 minutes 40 seconds in the half. We're at Freedom Hall, Louisville, and in front court, Larry Percival looks to the pivot and feeds Del Negro. Breaks left and hooks, no good. Lickard got it. Checkers Newman. Roger Newman with a beauty, his 3rd field goal. Ties it up 30-30. 3rd straight time the Cats have been able to catch up. Feldhaus knocks one into backcourt, away from Notre Dame's Armin Rio, but he recovers. Hands it over to Matthews, down the right to Schnurr. Schnurr tries, batted away, but picked up by Crosby. As Lickard keeps him wide to the left, he shoots, it's good. Crosby's first point of the ball game sends Notre Dame on top, 32-30, with 2 minutes in the first half. Roger Newman moving up the back court as the Cats will try now for the 4th time to tie it up. Hyman in the pivot to Del Negro. A bad pass that Notre Dame's Bill Crosby picks up. Hands it over to Matthews. In front court for the Irish with a 2-point lead. He breaks right. Picked up by Feldhaus. He gives to Schnurr as Notre Dame goes into a weave. Crosby feeds. Shot by Wrestler. Good. Wrestler, a big man. A substitute with 6 quick points. And Notre Dame leads 34-30 with 1.5 minutes left. Larry Percival in front court. Looks to the middle, feeds Del Negro, breaks to the left and loses it out of bounds. Climb is stopped as it bounced into the retaining chain. 34-30 Notre Dame. 1:24 in the first half here at Louisville. Near capacity crowd. Passes in, Percival to Newman. Newman gives in the pivot to Del Negro. Picked up by Feldhaus as it's knocked away. Feldhaus loses it, gets it outside to Lickard. Kentucky keying everything on the pivot right now. Here's Percival. Gives to Del Negro a looping hook way too high on the boards, and Lickard is knocked hard to the floor as it's picked up by Notre Dame's Armin Rio. Hands to Matthews. And so now Kentucky has made 2 trips, no points. They're back by 4. In front court, Matthews gets it dribbling down between his knees, but holds on. Outside to Schnurr to Matthews, and the pivot to Wrestler. There's the hook. No good. Del Negro with a rebound. Hands it over to Percival. In front court on the left side to Roger Newman. Newman behind his back to Del Negro has the shot blocked as it's taken away by Wrestler of Notre Dame, knocking it right over to Schnurr with 37 seconds to go. The Irish ahead by 4 take possession. So after 3 times able to tie up, Notre Dame has a 4-point lead on the Cats now. Here's Wrestler walking with it. He made 3 fakes and never did dribble. Kentucky's ball, as it'll be put in play by Percival to Newman. 19 seconds to go. Kentucky trailed by 5 at the midpoint of the half. Newman feeds Del Negro on the pivot. Back to Newman, wide open. He missed it as he was fouled by Matthews of Notre Dame. First foul by Matthews. And with the foul and shots coming by Roger Newman, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
And this is WVLK in Lexington, CBS for Kentucky, 27 before 10.
The fans here at Louisville act up a bit as Roger Newman has given only one free throw. Drops it in and will take the bonus try. Although he was knocked to the floor on a crip shot, he was awarded only one free throw. Apparently ruled that he was fouled after he was back on the floor. Deck. The free throw good. 34-32 Notre Dame, 9-8 seconds ticking off here in the first half. Eddie Schnurr of Notre Dame in front court. 4-3, a Schnurr from 25 feet misses everything. And the first half is. Here's Kentucky moving out. Say, we want you to say smooth about the operation of your car's engine when you have your Standard Oil dealer put in either Mobil Oil Special or Uniflow Motor Oil at your next oil change. These two top quality motor oils are both high detergent oils that clean as they lubricate, keeping abrasive elements in harmless suspension so they can't wear away engine parts. Now your Standard Oil dealer takes you to play as the tap goes to Matthews of Notre Dame. Down to Crosby. In it goes, and a spinning jump shot. Good by Ressler. Here is the key man for Notre Dame right now. A substitute that's hit 8 points for the Irish and put them ahead 36-32. Percival in front court to Lickert on the right side. Looks and feeds Newman in under the basket. Fires to Del Negro, wide open. He juggled the ball and gave Notre Dame's defense enough time to knock it out of bounds. Kentucky's ball over the baseline to the left of the basket. 30 seconds gone in this game here at Freedom Hall, Louisville. Kentucky going to the double post in there as here's a jump shot by Newman. Good. Newman gets into double figures, and it's 36-34. Notre Dame by 2 with Matthews back in front court. Down the right side, it goes to Schnurr. Back to Matthews, drives left, 15-footer. Short, taken by Del Negro of Kentucky. Up to Percival as the Cats are on the run. Down the left to Feldhaus. Out to Newman from 15 feet. No good. On the rebound. Feldhaus of Kentucky's got it in the right corner. Feeds in the pivot. Here's a hook by Lickert. Good. Bill Lickert's 15th point ties the game at 36-36. Fourth time it's been tied as Crosby feeds in there. A foul is called on Del Negro of Kentucky, pushing Ressler of Notre Dame. Del Negro's first foul of the game is number 1 this half. For Notre Dame, Ressler, who has not missed, shoots 1. 18:39 to go here at Louisville as the free throw, no good. Hooked up beautifully, but it rolled out by Armin Rio of Notre Dame. Here's Crosby stealing the ball from Percival and Del Negro and getting it back for Notre Dame. Critical steal with the ball game tied 36-all. Here's a free shot from the outside, missed by Ressler. Crosby of Notre Dame battles through to get it again. Here it is, Schnurr from 20 feet, hits. And Schnurr with his 4th point of the game, and Notre Dame leads 38-36. Back in the front court now, Roger Newman of Kentucky down the left side to Feldhaus. Feldhaus to Lickert, takes a 20-footer. No good. Beautiful tap by Feldhaus. Feldhaus' first point of the ball game. Ties it up 38-all. 5th time we have been tied up. Here's a break by Matthews of Notre Dame. Gives to Schnurr. Percival has done a good job against Schnurr. Held him to a field goal each half. Here's to Ressler. The shot's good. There's the man Kentucky can't handle. A substitute, Ressler, who has picked up 10 points. Had only 9 previously in 2 games this season. Here's Percival down the right to Lickert. Trailing by 2. It goes to Newman. Battling down the middle. He is knocked loose from the ball, and Notre Dame takes over. 40-38. That was hardly Newman's fault. Matthews of Notre Dame down the left to Crosby. Back outside to Matthews. Hands off to Schnurr. Spins left, gives to Crosby. Crosby weaving, driving, shooting on Lickert. No good. Rebounding Feldhaus of Kentucky. Over to Roger Newman, breaking up into front court. Newman gives on the right to Percival, who shoots. Wide open from the right. No good. Feldhaus taps and misses, and Lickert rebounds. 20-footer. Good. Lickert hitting again, ties it up, 40-40, the sixth tie in the game. Matthews of Notre Dame breaks right from 15 feet. He missed it, rolls out of there, fight for the ball, tapped up no good. Wrestler shoots and misses. Del Negro bats it to the outside and picks it up for Kentucky. A bad pass if Newman runs down and gets in front court. Feeds to Lickert, down the right to Feldhaus. They give him a shot. Good. And the foul is called. Del Negro is called for pushing, but the field goal by Feldhaus counts to give Kentucky the lead for the first time in the second half. Del Negro is charged with his second foul. For Notre Dame, John Deary comes into the lineup. This is the first time Kentucky has been on top since the early play when they led 4-3. And here is timeout, Notre Dame. No matter what type oil burner or furnace you have, Standard Oil Company can supply you with a type of motor oil that will give you the most heat for your money. The oil best suited to your individual heating system. Courteous, experienced men will handle your order and deliver it promptly and give you the good service you always expect from Standard Oil. Find out about it today by calling your Standard Oil office. Now, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
And this is WVLK in Lexington, CBS for Kentucky at 10 o'clock.
We've just had word that Tennessee has signed 16 football players, one from Kentucky, Jim Phillips of Wheelwright. Notre Dame ready to go to action with Carl Ressler moving to the free throw line where he has hit 2 out of 3. Kentucky is ahead 42-40. Kentucky has this half been able to get some more offensive rebounds. Their offensive change going to the double post shuffle. The free throw by Ressler is good. His 5th point of the half, 11th of the game. And here's a bad pass, Del Negro to Newman, and Notre Dame's got it back. Kentucky now has made 2 critical passing errors this half. They lead by 1. And Tully back in the ball game. Here's walking called by Armin Rio of Notre Dame. Gives the ball to Kentucky. John Deary back in the Notre Dame lineup. Percival in front court on the right to Lickert. Lickert against Rio. Breaks out. Flips it to Feldhaus. Feldhaus on the left side to Lickert. Wide. A move and a jump by Lickert. Good. 19 points by Lickert, and Kentucky is ahead 44-41. Longest lead of the game for the Cats, 15:50 to go. Down the right to Crosby of Notre Dame to Ressler, and a jump shot. No good. Del Negro bats it down, but it is knocked away from him by teammate Roger Newman, picked up by Armin Rio, who lays it in. Newman knocked it away, and it goes to Notre Dame. It's 44-43. Newman in front court feeds Feldhaus. Both guards break off of him. He brings it out to the free throw line and gives to Del Negro with a hook from the baseline. No good. Taken off by Notre Dame's Carl Ressler. Outside to Schnurr as Jennings waits to get in for Kentucky. Deary playing with 4 personals, and Jennings waiting to report with 4 personals. Schnurr of Notre Dame gives off to Crosby on the right. Hyman goes to Ressler. Jump shot over Feldhaus. Short, no good. Tapped up, no good by Notre Dame. And as he fell hard to the floor, Rio lost the ball to Lickert. Lickert to Newman. To Percival. For the Wildcats to the attack. Down the left side to Feldhaus. A foul is called on Newman, trying to charge down the middle. Roger Newman drawing his 2nd foul of the game, and the 3rd against Kentucky this half. Notre Dame has not committed a personal foul this half as Del Negro leaves the game. Ned Jennings goes to the pivot. Schnurr on the line for Notre Dame, first time. 14 minutes, 55 seconds here at Louisville. Kentucky 44, Notre Dame 43. But 6-foot Eddie Schnurr, a St. X junior at South Bend, can tie it all up with his 5th point of the game. Schnurr, a one-hand shooter, puts that right toe right up on the line and flips it good, tying the game at 44 all. And the Cats have lost their 3-point lead. Here's Newman throwing the ball right to Schnurr of Notre Dame. Schnurr sets it up now for the Irish. Over to Crosby. Down the right to Tully. Breaks in, collides with Newman. The foul, charging by Deary of Notre Dame as he fouls out with 14:42 to go. So Deary comes out of there with 6 points, 3 field goals, all of the first half. Plays just briefly this half and commits his 5th personal foul. Ned Jennings is the only man for either team now with 4 personal fouls, and he's in the game. Notre Dame has really picked up more from substitute Carl Ressler, though, than they have for Deary, who has fouled out. In to replace him is John Tully with 3 personals, Notre Dame's big man with 12 points. Carl Ressler, a substitute, has hit 11 points for the Irish. Tremendous job. Roger Newman is on the Kentucky free throw line, where he has hit 2 out of 3, tries for his 11th point, and a chance to break a 44-44 deadlock. This is Kentucky's first free throw of the half. The shot floats way to the right, no good. Feldhaus taps and misses. Out of bounds, Kentucky, opposite Ressler of Notre Dame. To the right of the basket over the baseline. Putting it in play will be Larry Percival. Out of bounds in front of the Kentucky bench. Calls, gives to Feldhaus in the right corner. Hooks it to Jennings. Back to Feldhaus. Feldhaus starts down the baseline, goes by Crosby, lays it in. Alan Feldhaus with his 3rd field goal of the half sends Kentucky on top 46-44 as he faked Crosby and went right down the baseline on the Notre Dame captain. Schnurr in front court for the Irish. Gives left side to Rio. Outside deep to Schnurr. Schnurr against Percival. Breaks to the right. Percival gets through the screen and stops him at the free throw line. Deep to Crosby against Lickert. Moves to the right, dribbles behind his back, still ends up in the free throw line. Gives jumper, no good by Rio as Newman rebounds for Kentucky. Back in front court, Newman angles off to the right side. Bounce pass to Lickert on the baseline. Wheels goes under, dribbles it, and goes to the left corner to recover it. Outside to Percival. Over to Newman. He fakes, drives on Rio. Picked up by Ressler. He spins, hands to Jennings, wide open. He does not get it. Feldhaus got it. Alan Feldhaus, no points in the first half with 4 field goals. This half, and Kentucky leads for the first time by 4 points. 48-44 with 13:20 to go. Ressler wide open, lays it in for Notre Dame. As Ressler slipped away from Feldhaus for his 13th point. He's Notre Dame's top man, and a substitute at that. 48-46 Kentucky. Percival down the right side to Lickert. Lickert sights the basket as Rio loosens up. Lickert breaks left. 1 bounce dribble and gives quickly to Feldhaus from 20 feet. Short, no good. Percival with a bouncing ball. Shoots, good. Larry Percival's first point of the ball game. Kentucky leads 50-46. Their second 4-point edge. 5 field goals this half by Percival and Feldhaus, who didn't score the first half. A hook by Ressler, no good. Rebounding Percival of Kentucky. The Wildcats on the run now with a 4-point lead. 12:40 in the ball game. Newman driving is fouled by Ressler of Notre Dame. For Carl Ressler, his first foul, and the second this half on the Irish. 12 minutes, 37 seconds to go. Kentucky 50, Notre Dame 46 as 2 shots go to Roger Newman. Newman has hit 2 and missed 2. Off the Kentucky bench, Carol Burchett. Here's Newman with his first free throw. No good. Roger Newman has missed 3 out of 5 free throws, and here's Carol Burchett coming in for the first time tonight. 22-year-old junior from Fugate, replacing Feldhaus. 6'4", 190. Burchett replacing Feldhaus, who has hit 4, or exactly 1/2 of Kentucky's field goals. Check this, a little less than 1/2. Newman hits with a free throw, his second trip, and his 3rd point of the half gives Kentucky their longest lead of the game. 51-46. Schnurr of Notre Dame goes in. Percival, Lickert, Burchett, Newman, and Jennings, Kentucky's 5. Here's Schnurr driving on Percival, who collides with him, and the foul is against Percival. Percival's second foul of the game, number 4 on the Wildcats this second half. Schnurr will shoot. Schnurr on the line for 1, has not missed a free throw. 12:29 to go. Cats with a 5-point lead, their longest of the game after trailing by 2 at the half. Here's Schnurr of Notre Dame, missing. On the rebound, batted right back to him by John Tully. In it goes to Ressler, who walks with it. Made a fake against Jennings and did not get the ball down for dribble in time. Percival to Newman, and Kentucky attacks still with a 5-point edge. Down the right to Lickert, who pivots to face and then flip off to Percival, who takes a long one-hander, no good. On the rebound, Tully loses it out of bounds. Notre Dame's ball. Schnurr hands to Crosby, takes a short return pass. There are 12 minutes left. We're at Freedom Hall, Louisville, as Schnurr of Notre Dame feeds left side. Takes it right back from Rio. Flips to Crosby. The blind pass to Tully, and a hook shot good with a foul on the play. Foul is on Jennings. The goal counts, and Jennings is out of the ball game. So Jennings fouls out with 11:52 to go. He has 7 points, 2 field goals, 3 out of 5 on the free throw line. Tully's field goal is his 14th point of the game. makes it 51-48, and as Jennings leaves, Adolph Rupp, after talking with Harry Lancaster, decides to send Vince Del Negro back into the ball game. We'll be back with you Tuesday night over the same Standard Oil stations at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time when Kentucky plays North Carolina at Greensboro. Del Negro for Kentucky. He'll move into the pivot. Lickard plays a forward with Carroll Burchett. Newman and Percival, the guards, have been in there all the way. Lickard has gone all the way, too. Now here's Tully on the line for Notre Dame, shoots one. 11:52 of action left. The free throw is good. As a three-point trip by John Tully cuts the Kentucky lead to 51-49. Percival talking with Newman, moving into front court with the ball. Down the right side to Lickard as Newman breaks through to the baseline. Lickard feeds to Burchett. He fakes, flips to Percival. Percival looks down the middle, feeds on the right side to Lickard. Del Negro on the right side of a double pivot. Lickard across the line to Newman, back to Percival, down the right to Lickard. Here's Burchett going down the middle. Lickard watches him and sights him. Lickard cautiously moves to the right, gives to Burchett, moving back outside, feeds Percival. Percival moving back to the right, looking to the left and feeding Roger Newman. Down the left side to Lickard. Percival goes through. Lickard breaks to the left, gives off, and out of the left corner, Percival misses. Del Negro has the rebound, batted away, but saves to Burchett from 10 feet. No good. Del Negro got it. Let's see. They may give it to Newman. Del Negro is awarded the field goal, his sixth point of the game. Kentucky leads 53-49 with 11 minutes to go. Crosby of Notre Dame fades. Del Negro fouls Tully, trying to get the incoming pass. That's the third foul by Del Negro and the fifth, or check us, the sixth on Kentucky this half. So the Cats have committed 6 now. No bonus this time, but it will be in after this. Tully, who's hit 3 out of 4, shoots 1 for the Irish. 10:54 to go. Free throw short. Tapped up, no good. Burchett goes for it, and he's tied up on the play by Armin Rio, who slugged at him and missed. Rio at 6'6". Burchett 6'4", gives Notre Dame 2 inches height advantage on their own free throw line. Burchett taps to Lickard, batted away by Crosby and out of bounds to Kentucky. Correctus, Notre Dame gets the ball. Wait a minute. Now the official wants it back. No, he still gives it to Notre Dame. Here it is on the free throw line to Tully, back deep to Crosby. Hands off to Schnurr. Schnurr stays deep. Percival done an outstanding job on Schnurr, held him to 5. Here's the wrestler, the jump shot, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Armin Rio of Notre Dame. Goes to Kentucky now. Wildcats ahead, 53-49, 10:15 to go. Here's Lickard getting it on the right side. Feeds out on a hook by Del Negro. Good! Del Negro's 8 points puts Kentucky on top by 6. It's 55-49. Half point of the second half right now. 10 to go. Up in the front court, Schnurr of Notre Dame gives to Rio. Batted up in the air by Percival. Rio recovers. Feeds to Tully on the left side. Out deep to Schnurr now. Schnurr walks with it. Goes to Kentucky. Schnurr throws the ball to the official rather than give Percival that quick jump on him. Fires into Roger Newman. Newman in front court against Crosby. Feeds left side to Burchett. Takes a return. Foul by Crosby, who knocked him hard to the floor. And then showboats by going over to help him up. Crosby's personal is number 3. That is 3 against the Irish. 2 shots to Roger Newman. Newman has hit 3 and missed 3. 9:38 to go. Newman hits. Wildcats leading 56-49. Here's the second shot, good by Newman. Kentucky 57, Notre Dame 49. The Irish take possession. Eddie Schnurr moving up over the center stripe. Picked up by Larry Percival and calls timeout for Notre Dame. That's the second timeout for the Irish, just the third in the ball game, and a great hand for Kentucky. Comes a Yesen here pointing out to us that when John Deary of Notre Dame fouled out with 14:42 to go, the score was 44-44. Since that time, Notre Dame has scored 5 points, while Kentucky has scored 13. And that big run, right at the moment at least, stands as the big difference between these two teams. Jennings, fouling out with 11:52 to go, had 7 points behind the 6 by John Deary. Notre Dame's big guy, though, has been the 6'7" Carl Ressler, a substitute who has come in with 13 points. He is right at the moment, at least, just a shade behind in scoring from John Tully. Notre Dame will go to the bonus, though, on any foul now committed by Kentucky, as the Cats have already committed their 6. Notre Dame, meanwhile, has committed only 3. So they can commit 3 more without giving the Cats any bonus free throws. But Kentucky has been unable to hit those free throws. They picked up just 3 points this half at the free throw line. The first half, Kentucky picked up an edge of 4 points on Notre Dame, 10-6 at the free throw lines, although they missed 5. Notre Dame's ball at midcourt as action now is resumed. Crosby gets it, but gives back to Schnurr. Feeds to Tully on the free throw line against Del Negro. A quick shot, and it's good. There's John Tully scoring his 5th point, 17th of the game. Kentucky 57, Notre Dame 51, 9:18 to go. Percival of Kentucky down the right side to Lickert. Watches Newman goes through. Then off to the right corner and gives to Newman. Whips to Del Negro on the pivot, under the basket, and he's fouled as he tries to get a shot away. Ressler of Notre Dame drawing his 2nd foul. That's number 4 on the Irish this half. Del Negro of Kentucky may shoot 2. Del Negro has hit 2 out of 3. Del Negro gets 1 try, and that's all. 9:08 left. Del Negro's free throw, no good. On the rebound, Notre Dame's got it as Tully pulls it off, and Kentucky's lead stays at 6 points. Eddie Schnurr brings the Irish back to the attack court, picked up quickly by Percival. Down the right side to Crosby. Outside it goes now to Rio from 20 feet. Good. Armin Rio looping in his 10th point of the game. Pulls Notre Dame to within 4 points. As Notre Dame quickly battles back now at 57-53. Roger Newman up in the front court. Feeds Burchett on the left side of a double pivot. Back to Newman, breaking for the basket on Deary. Missed the shot. On the rebound, it's out of bounds, Kentucky. Opposite John Deary of Notre Dame. Cats missing some good in-close shooting that time. Larry Percival will put it in play to the left of the basket from over the baseline. The pass is into Burchett in the left corner. A quick shot, no good. Comes off the backboard to Notre Dame's Armin Rio. Rio flips over to Schnurr. 8 minutes, 20 seconds to go. The Irish down by 4. Crosby, the captain, in front court against Lickert. Feeds in to Tully on the free throw line. Tully breaks to the left, gives to Rio down the middle, wide open, lays it in. So Armin Rio, with 2 quick field goals, has cut the Kentucky lead to just 2 points, 57-55 with 8 minutes to go. Percival of Kentucky in front court, down the right side, feeds out to Roger Newman. Newman looks to the middle, stays deep going to the left, bounce pass to Burchett. Burchett holds on, gives back to Newman, a fake, a one-bounce dribble, and over to Percival. Percival down the right to Lickert, looks to Del Negro in the middle, a bounce pass. Del Negro breaks and is tied up as he tries to shoot. 7 minutes, 43 seconds to go. Kentucky 57, Notre Dame 55. Here's Del Negro moving in at 6'5". He's jumping against Tully, who gives Notre Dame 2 inches height advantage, but the tap goes to Lickert, who brings it off wide to the right for Kentucky. Everybody closely guarded now as he gives a bounce pass into Del Negro, breaks for the basket for the foul call. It's Notre Dame drawing the personal. Rio, his first foul of the game. That's 5 on the Irish. 2 shots to Del Negro. Del Negro has hit 2 and missed 2. Kentucky has a 2-point lead as he hits the first. 58-55 Kentucky. 7 minutes, 34 seconds in this ball game here at Louisville. Del Negro with his second shot. Good. Del Negro gets them both. The Cats lead 59-55. Notre Dame to the attack. Eddie Schnurr over the center stripe for the Irish. Shaves to the left. Feeds one down to Crosby, into the pivot to Tully, back to Rio, breaking for the basket, pushing foul by Roger Newman of Kentucky. The bonus is in effect as Newman draws his 3rd foul of the game. A tough one for the Cats because had Newman not committed the foul, it was their ball as Rio missed the bad pass. Rio on the line has not missed a free throw, and this is a 1+, the first of the second half. Rio shoots, and it's good. Rio takes the first bonus shot for either team this second half. Notre Dame got 1 point at the bonus shot in the first half. Bonus try, good. So with 2 free throws coming off the line by Rio, it's 59-57, Kentucky by 2 points. Larry Percival moving into front court and calling timeout for the Wildcats. It is the second timeout by each team. 7 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Here's the scoring. For Kentucky, Del Negro has picked up 6 points this half, a total of 10. Bill Lickert has picked up 6 this half, a total of 19. Roger Newman this half, 5 points for a total of 13. That's the backbone of Kentucky's offense. But Alan Feldhaus, who was shut out the first half, picked up 4 field goals and 8 points this half. Jennings, who fouled out with 11:52 on the clock, has 7 points, all in the first half. Percival has scored his only 2 points of the game this half. Notre Dame lost John Deary with 14:42 to go. He came out with 6 points. John Tully has 5, a total of 17. This half, Rio has picked up 8 points, 14 for the game. Ressler has 7, a total of 13 for the game. Crosby picked up his 2 points in the first half. Schnurr has picked up 3 of his 5 this second half. Ball game tied up 44-all. When Kentucky broke it, after Newman missed a free throw, Feldhaus hit 2 field goals to give the Cats a 4-point lead, and Notre Dame has yet to catch up. 7:18 to go, and action is now ready to resume. Kentucky is in possession at midcourt. No change in the Kentucky lineup. Del Negro in the pivot. Burchett, Lickard at the forwards. Newman and Percival the guards, as Percival in front court feeds Lickard on the right. Lickard looks with Del Negro out as a screen, breaks to the left, pulls up and shoots from 20 feet. Good. Lickard, with his 21st point, puts Kentucky on top, 61-57, 7 minutes to go. Schnurr of Notre Dame in front court feeds left side to Rio, takes a quick return. Back down the left side to Rio. In on the pivot to Ressler against Burchett. He stuffs it in. Good. Goal count. Foul by Burchett. Burchett committing his first foul of the game. And here's the substitute, Carl Ressler, the big man for Notre Dame with 9 points this half. Here's a substitute that has scored at a better pace than any of the regulars. Notre Dame is off the pace by 2 points, and a free throw coming to the 6'7" Ressler. A two-hand shooter. He missed it. Burchett rebounds on the bounce. Feeds to Newman with Kentucky leading. Here it is to Lickard. Down wide to the right. Hands off. Percival walks with it, and it goes to Notre Dame. Kentucky 61, Notre Dame 59. 6 minutes, 37 seconds to go. Crosby to Schnurr. In front court for the Irish. Schnurr down the left side to Rio, takes a return. In on the free throw line to Crosby. Back to Schnurr. Batted off. He's put out of bounds by Percival. It goes up into the end zone crowd at the left. Kentucky's ball in back court, leading 61-59. 6 minutes, 25 seconds to go. Larry Percival moving up and over the center stripe for the Wildcats now. Looking to the right, feeding Lickard. Lickard goes into a crouch against Rio. Breaks to the right, goes all the way, double teamed at the baseline and walks with it. It goes to Notre Dame. The second straight time Kentucky has lost the ball, walking with it. Lickard going almost free as Kentucky trying to set everything on him. Here it is now down the right side to Crosby. Into the pivot to Ressler. Shoots over Burchett. The shot's in there. Good. And Ressler with another great clutch play. His 7th field goal ties it up 61-0. So Notre Dame is able now to catch Kentucky as Feldhaus reports to the scores table. Burchett on the left side. 5:43 to go. Feeds into the pivot to Del Negro. Tries a shot and a foul on Notre Dame's Carl Ressler. Ressler drawing his 3rd foul of the game. Del Negro goes to the line as Alan Feldhaus comes in for Kentucky. Going out, Carol Burchett.
Substitution for Kentucky, number 12, Alan Feldhaus.
Del Negro gets 2 shots. Del Negro's hit 4 out of 6. First shot good. Kentucky's back on top, 62-61. 5:41 left. Del Negro with a second shot. Good. Kentucky 63, Notre Dame 61. Bill Crosby gives to Eddie Schnurr, who brings the Irish back to the attack, trying again to come from behind and tie it up. Down the right side, Schnurr threw it over the head of Crosby out of bounds. Kentucky's ball. Wait a minute. The other official at Notre Dame's ball, so we'll jump. A jump ball as the officials saw it different ways, and the Notre Dame assistant coach Jim Gibbons is up off the bench, screaming again. Del Negro to Percival, and Kentucky's got the ball. In front court to Roger Newman. Breaks to the free throw line, hands beautifully to Del Negro, who blew the shot, an open trip. A hook shot, no good again by Del Negro. Del Negro blowing a dead trip, leaving the score 63-61. As Schnurr of Notre Dame moves into front court now against Percival. Fakes to the right, comes to the left, and gives to Rio. Off the head of Schnurr, out of bounds to Kentucky. Both teams now showing the signs of pressure. We're into the last 5 minutes. Kentucky leading 63-61. Roger Newman in front court on the right side to Lickard. Del Negro comes out to give him that screen against Rio. He breaks to the left and shoots from 20 feet, no good. Off the rim, Crosby rebounding for Notre Dame. Hands it over to Schnurr. 4:40 left. In front court for Notre Dame, trailing by 2. He feeds to Tully on Del Negro, breaks to the left and lays it up. No good. Rebounding Bill Lickert of Kentucky. Has to fight to get out of there with it, but battles on. Bounce pass goes over to Percival. Up to Roger Newman. And the Cats slow it down now. Newman just stepping over the 10-second line with it. Angling off to the right, drives down from 20 feet. Newman missed it. On the rebound, Del Negro misses. Tully of Notre Dame shaking like a woolly dog coming out of the water with a rebound. Kentucky 63, Notre Dame 61. 4 minutes, 5 seconds left. Schnurr of the Irish back trying to tie it up again. Down the right side to Crosby. Wrestler is fouled as he takes the pass. Chekas. Wrestler pushing against Feldhaus. That is 4 fouls on Wrestler. Pushing against Feldhaus.
Foul, Wrestler is 4.
6'7" Carl Wrestler drawing the personal, number 4. So Wrestler now represents the only man for either team with 4 personals, as Deary fouled out for Notre Dame and Jennings fouled out for Kentucky early this half. Feldhaus on the free throw line for the first time in the game. Shooting, good, and a bonus try, the first of the second half for Kentucky. 3 minutes, 58 seconds left. Kentucky has a 3-point lead. Feldhaus shooting the second one. Good. Feldhaus, shut out the first half, has picked up 10 big ones this half. The Cats lead 65-61. In front court, Schnurr of Notre Dame. Feeds to Rio, breaks to the basket, and cut off by Del Negro. A beautiful interception by Vince Del Negro. Hands to Percival. Back in front court for the Cats, who now own a 65-61 lead with 3:40 to go. Percival to Lickert at the free throw line, breaks to the left. Hooks it into Del Negro, who is fouled. Drawing the personal, John Tully, his 4th foul. So Notre Dame has 2 men, and big key ones they are, Wrestler and Tully, playing with 4 personals as Del Negro goes to the line. Del Negro has hit 6 out of 8. He shoots 1+. Notre Dame taking a timeout, their 3rd of the ball game. The clock shows 3:33. Kentucky 65. Notre Dame 61. Well, the Irish, when they fell behind to two field goals by Feldhaus at 48-44 with 13:25 to go, finally caught Kentucky on a one-hander from the side by Wrestler, 61 all with 5:50 to go. Although Kentucky has yet to get a field goal, 2 free throws by Del Negro, 2 free throws by Feldhaus, has still piled on a 65-61 edge for the Wildcats. Notre Dame is ready to go back to action now, but they're playing with Wrestler and Tully, their key big men, with 4 personal fouls each. Kentucky lost Jennings with 11:52, and Notre Dame lost Deary with 14:42 in the ballgame. Notre Dame is being charged now with its 4th timeout. Now Del Negro on the free throw line for the Cats. Hits. Del Negro has a bonus as Kentucky's lead 5 points. Here's Del Negro's bonus. No good. Rebounding Notre Dame's John Tully as Del Negro missed after hitting 5 in a row. 66-61 Kentucky with Schnurr in front court. Down the left side, it goes to Rio, to Wrestler, under the basket. He shoots, no good. Lickert's got the rebound. Fast break, gives to Percival, to Lickert, all the way, no good. Shot blocked out of bounds. Lickert, slamming his fist into the palm of his hand, still did a magnificent job to keep from getting called with a walking infraction. 3:05 left. Percival feeds left side to Newman. He breaks out on Crosby, hooks right side to Lickert. Back to Newman. Newman with a 20-foot one-hander, missed it all, and it's Notre Dame's ball. 2:53 left. Kentucky leading 66-61. Eddie Schnurr of Notre Dame over the center stripe. Picked up by Larry Percival, feeds to Crosby, backs away and takes a return. Gives to Rio from 20 feet, it's no good. On the rebound, Del Negro slapped it out of bounds, but is called for pushing. That is 4 fouls on Del Negro. 1+ for Notre Dame's John Tully, who's hit 3 out of 5. Del Negro of Kentucky plays with 4 personals. Tully, Wrestler of Notre Dame play with 4. And here's Tully, 6'7", Notre Dame center, 1+ on the line. 2:39 left. Tully's shot. Good. He'll get the bonus try. So the Kentucky lead now is whacked to 4 points. Big Tully standing with both feet right squarely up on the line for Notre Dame. Looks in. He's a two-hand shooter. Down from between the knees. Way short. Missed the board. And it goes out of bounds to Kentucky on the side of the backcourt. Roger Newman, a bounce pass in. Gives, and we're ready to go back to the attack. Larry Percival in front court calling timeout Kentucky. That was the third timeout for the Wildcats. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have just missed on a big play. Because not only did John Tully miss with a clutch free throw, but he missed hitting the rim, which would have at least given Notre Dame's Armin Rio a chance to keep possession of a rebound, which he did take in. So instead of Notre Dame with possession or trailing by 3 points, they're down by 4, and the Caps have the ball. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left. Kentucky 66, Notre Dame 62. Now for 10 seconds, station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
And this is WVLK in Lexington, CBS for Kentucky at 10:30.
This is certainly not the Kentucky squad that we saw Saturday night against Florida State or Thursday of last week against BMI. This band is a group of Wildcats that is hustling and fighting a stout and tough, undefeated Notre Dame. This club has really gone to war here tonight. Notre Dame breaking huddle and marching out with Schnurr, Crosby, Rio, Ressler, and Tully. For the Wildcats, it is Percival and Newman out front, Del Negro in the pivot, Feldhaus and Lickert at the forwards. Lickert has been Kentucky's big man with 21 points, 9 field goals. Here we go back to play as Newman has the ball. Crosby picks him up, but he moves on into front court, leaves Crosby down the left side to Feldhaus in the corner. Feldhaus brings it back out front, being double-teamed, gets it into Del Negro, who is fouled by Ressler, and according to our records, that's 5 personal fouls on Notre Dame's Carl Ressler. That's it. 2 minutes and 24 seconds left when Carl Ressler fouls out, and he's a big, big man for Notre Dame. He has 7 field goals and 3 free throws. 17 points for the Irish. He's hit 3 out of 5 free throws. A substitute came in to get 17 points. He had only 9 in 2 games this season. For Notre Dame, the first time in the game. Wall Jasper coming into the lineup. Wall Jasper was not even listed at the hotel here. We couldn't find the Notre Dame publicity man today, so you know how we got all our information on Notre Dame? We owe a great big thanks to the switchboard operator at the Hotel Sheridan, who did it all for us. Free throw, no good by Del Negro as he misses. The ball taken by Newman of Kentucky. Out to Percival, over to Lickert on the right. The Cats leading 66-62, 2:15 left. Lickert holds the ball wide to the right on Rio, starts to the right, turns, comes back out deep. Kentucky setting on a 4-point lead. Now here's Newman moving deep to get it. He's out near the center stripe on Crosby. Breaks to the right, gives to Lickert. Lickert holding it outside. Kentucky's in a stall. We go to the last 2 minutes of play now. Kentucky holds a 66-62 lead. Newman's got it against Crosby. Down the right to Lickert. Crosby batted the ball in the backcourt. They give it to Notre Dame at midcourt. Crosby stabbed at the ball, hit Lickert, and the ball went to midcourt. It's Notre Dame's ball with 1 minute 40 seconds left. Schnurr in front court. Breaks to the right from 20 feet. No good. On the rebound, a jump ball. Del Negro and Tully tying up. Tully at 6'7" gives Notre Dame 2 inches height advantage in their own free throw line. 1:34 left. Kentucky leads by 4, 66-62. Here's the toss, the tap to Bill Lickert of Kentucky. Out fighting Wall Jasper for the ball as the ushers pour out on the floor now to block our vision. Down the right it goes to Roger Newman. Newman down the right, drops the ball, but Percival is there to scoop it up against Wall Jasper of Notre Dame. Hands off to Lickert now. The Cats hold a 4-point lead. 1 minute 16 to go. They're freezing. Here it is down the right to Percival. He's holding it outside. The Cats are in a 3-man weave on the right side of the offensive court. Now it goes left side to Feldhaus, to Newman against Crosby, who fouled him with 1:03 to go. That is the 4th foul on Notre Dame captain Bill Crosby. To the line, Roger Newman. Newman has hit 5, missed 3. Big ones coming right now as Adolph Rupp is off the bench asking and getting a timeout. According to our record, the 4th timeout for each team. So this is a game that is typical Kentucky Notre Dame. 66-62, Kentucky leads. We go down to the last 1 minute and 3 seconds with Roger Newman a chance to put 2 points on the Cats' lead. And here's John Matthews, a late playing guard in the first half, coming in for Notre Dame. Kentucky needs this game, as we all know, and needs it badly. Never has the Cats had to battle for one like this, but they're all out here tonight, trying to come back from that shocking, unexpected loss to Florida State. Their action next week picks up, too, after a one-game week here in Louisville tonight. They go to action Tuesday at Greensboro, 7:45, over these same Standard Oil stations when they play North Carolina. And 1 week from this Saturday in Philadelphia, they play Temple before returning home for the Invitational Tournament, the 21st and 22nd. So after this game tonight, it's the only action of the week. Our next game is Kentucky, North Carolina, Tuesday next week, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time for the broadcast on these same Standard Oil stations. Now we're ready to go to play. Roger Newman of Kentucky moves to the free throw line, shooting 1+. Kentucky holds a 4-point edge, 1:03 to go. Lickard backs up with Percival in safety, and Newman, both feet close together up on the line. Lets her fly. No good. Beautiful rebound by Del Negro, who hooks a high one out to Lickard. Over to Percival, down the right to Newman. Newman going to the center of the court, double team, hooks her down to Percival. The Cats are still trying to freeze. Across it goes to Feldhaus, 50 seconds left. Feldhaus gives over to Lickard, down the right to Newman. Nobody on him. 3 of the Irish go for him. They got him cornered now. At midcourt, he hooks a pass over to Percival. Percival moves to the left. Bounce pass over to Newman. 37 seconds left. Down the right to Lickard. Lickard moves up the side. High pass outside to Newman at midcourt. Down the right to Lickard. Lickard reaching over the line to get it with 30 seconds. Pumps it back to Newman now. Over it goes to Percival. 25. Percival outside, breaks and gives to Newman on the right. Deep. Here's Newman, fouled by Matthews of Notre Dame. Second foul by Matthews. 20 seconds left. 66-62 Kentucky as Newman goes back to the free throw line. Newman up, 1+. 20 seconds left. Kentucky leads by 4. Newman sets in again. Looks. Fires. Shot. No good again. Feldhaus has got the rebound. Rolls it out to Del Negro on the floor. And the clock shows 15 to go. High pass to Lickard. He holds on across court. Outside to Percival with 10. Percival drives and is fouled with 8 to go. Crosby drawing the foul. That's all of it for Bill Crosby, the Notre Dame captain. Feldhaus and Tully almost got into a fist fight under the basket. As with 8 seconds to go, the Notre Dame captain Crosby is the third to foul out of the game for the Irish. Bill Lickard not only has 21 points for Kentucky, he has done a great job for the Wildcats defensively. He's been on Bill Crosby tonight and gave the Notre Dame captain 1 field goal. He leaves the game with a field goal and 2 missed free throws and nothing for this half. For Notre Dame, we'll see John Andreoli for the first time. An 18-year-old sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 6'3", 180. Andreoli checking in. Well, Kentucky with a 4-point lead here in the last minute has had 2 chances by Roger Newman and unable to hit them both. But a clutch rebound by Del Negro and a clutch rebound by Feldhaus has kept Kentucky in possession of the ball. Now Larry Percival is on the free throw line for the first time in the game, and he hits. Now the Cats lead by 5. 8 seconds left. 67-62 Kentucky. A fracas has developed down in back of the Kentucky bench as Percival hits again. Kentucky now leads 68-62. Schnurr of Notre Dame in front court, 4 seconds. Schnurr shoots with 3. The shot's no good. Feldhaus has got it, and the game is over. Kentucky has rounded back to beat Notre Dame. 68-62 is the final score. As for the first time in the coaching career of Adolph Rupp, he is even with Notre Dame. Kentucky 68-62 over the Irish here at Freedom Hall, Louisville, with scoring particulars in just a moment. Many people find buying tires is a problem. After all, one hears so many different claims. It's time you heard some facts. For a real tire buy, Go to your Standard Oil dealer. His is the best place to buy tires for many good reasons. Standard Oil dealers offer you a wide variety of famous Atlas tires and a choice of price ranges. There's an Atlas tire for every car and pocketbook, and Atlas Plycron Cushion Air tires give you 10% better wearability than the original tires that came on your car. These are the facts. So when you want good tires at a fair price, see your Standard Oil dealer. Get Atlas tires. The scoring summary tonight would certainly have to be keyed on Bill Lickard, who contributed 21 points, the best he's had this season. He had 9 field goals, 3 out of 4 on the free throw line for his 21 points, 13 of them in the first half of play. Kentucky lost one man, Ned Jennings, with 11:52 to go. Jennings had 7 points all in the first half, 2 field goals, 3 out of 5 on the free throw line. Alan Feldhaus was quite a man the second half. With nothing in the first half, he came back with 4 field goals, 2 free throws, 10 points, his high game of the season in scoring. Larry Percival was also shut out the first half, but came back with a field goal and 2 free throws that locked the decision up for the Cats by 6 points. Another game tonight went to Vince Del Negro, who came up with 4 points in the first half, and in the second half, a total of 9 for 13, and Del Negro's 13 is 2 better than his previous high of 11 in the opener against BMI. For tonight's game, Del Negro had 3 field goals. On the free throw line, he hit 7 out of 11. So that's the scoring for the Cats, except for Roger Newman, who came up with a total of 13 points. Newman had 4 field goals, 5 free throws, but Newman missed 5 attempts.